Good afternoon, Tony Dottino. Trying to get back into the normal swing of things. I returned from New York this week. I did a tribute to Ed Pinson on my broadcast yesterday, and gradually moving back into the world of brain health and how we and the USA Memory Championship. So we've got a few things that are really going. Michael Dottino has now got his the six key factors to brain health online course to go along with his maximum memory mastery. I think those are two fantastic courses in itself, and he's got a third one coming out, the becoming a super learner. So he's done some great work, and we actually had a chance to test some of that out with a live audience yesterday of people looking to bring brain health, into a community and make it the number one community in the country. So that was exciting. And one of the things that getting prepped for it that I came to realize is, the amount of information that's just coming at us. So here was a whole Sunday insert for your health that appeared in the Orlando Sentinel. And it talked about exercising, eating, and sleep balance as a guide. So what do you do for exercise? What do you do for your nutrition? It's important for people to understand, as we shared with them yesterday, the importance of nutrition is what your brain is using to get its proteins and carbohydrates and get its energy and fuel from. And of course, exercising in terms of aerobic is where we get oxygen, which is being used by our brain, and also doing some muscle work because it's the muscles that tell the brain that the body is still alive. And so, excellent insert to a Sunday newspaper. Who would have thought? And then comes along the current issue of Consumers Reports. Boost your brain power at any age. And this is almost like a perfect marketing piece for the brain, six elements of brain health, because it talks about nutrition and social interaction and what happens to people during COVID that are isolated. And I'm reading more and more about what the isolation and loneliness have done to kids that were locked down from going to school, and seniors that felt like they've lost their social interactions and networks. So here comes the Consumers Report along here, and I think this is like right just out now. It's like June 2022. So it's coming out fast and furious. I think I've talked a bit about this. I've got more to do in here. This was a fabulous magazine. This was put out by Centennial Spotlight. And this is all about the brain. Easy tips to improve your memory, proven ways to power up your mind, unlocking your creativity, boosting your intelligence. I mean, this is a whole issue, all just about the brain, just off the presses. This one's a June special until July. We saw the National Geographic's a whole issue just on the factors of memory. And what do we do with memory? Understand dementia, explore a brain healthy diet, learn how sleep affects your memory. It's endless. Now, it really gets interesting because even in Time Magazine, the May 9, 16 issue, interesting article on forgetting. So off to the 7th page of this is the title of Forgetting. And why is forgetting really not a bad thing for our brain? And why do people need to get away from the idea that forgetting is a terrible thing and therefore is something not good? Oh God, I didn't bring the whole pile here with me. Where's the rest of my pile? Boy, talk about losing and forgetting. I gotta go find the rest of my pile. Your health. In the current issue of Art Magazine, your health. What do you need to do to live longer and be stronger and maintain good mental and physical health? Mind, mood, and memory. So what do we do with mind, mood, and memory? Problems in decision-making, language, and cognitive skills can also occur in terms of it. I think we all would agree with that and not have any discussions about that. Research suggests half of older adults may die with a dementia diagnosis. That's a little bit scary. So this 6 key factors of brain health that Michael's just put out, somebody said to me, this course is fantastic. How do you get people to take it and go through it and then practice the tips and the techniques that are now being documented by science that are listed for each of those 6 elements. And we're talking elements of social interaction, exercise, mental challenges. Great conversation we had yesterday about mental challenges and what are some of the best mental challenges that we should be focused in doing. Then we come along, stretching, right? We're talking about exercise, right? And we think of exercise as aerobic or weightlifting. So we have people in gyms that are either doing, we're going to press 250 pounds, or they're going to be talking about, I'm going to run a marathon race. Well, there's really 4 elements to exercising, and this just keeps coming. And here's one on stretching, the importance of maintaining the plasticity of our muscles, especially as we get older, and we hear more and more about people who fall and don't maintain their balance. So that's taking more and more emphasis and focus. Then comes along in the world of exercise. This comes out of Mount Sinai. That last one, by the way, came out of Cleveland Clinic. Now comes Mount Sinai, and Mount Sinai is talking about, right? Find your right exercise equipment, and here are some of the things that you can do in terms of different exercises and how you can maintain your flexibility and what you need to know about that. So it's endless. It's just not good. Here we go. Come from the article on 20 minutes of daily exercise lowers cardiovascular risk. Just getting 20 minutes of physical activity, especially earlier in life, may reduce your risk of cardio disease. Researchers reviewed 3,000 adults aged 65 and older, and they followed them, and they were grouped into 4 categories. Stable, high-level physical activity was associated with a 52% lower risk of coronary disease. Next, dementia risk rises with loneliness. Researchers report feeling lonely may make you more susceptible to dementia, even if you're otherwise at an average age on the genetic risk scale. And this is what we've been talking about. I've been talking about this for the last 2 years. The isolations and the impact of taking people and isolating kids in schools, and not going to school, seniors not being able to go to their bingo or church activities and lockdowns because of the fears of COVID. And piece by piece, week by week, we're seeing articles come from the research world talking about what the impacts have been in keeping people locked down and the costs that we've had, and who's been evaluating that 2.5 years ago. So those are some of the challenges. Now, we learn all these things, and the question becomes, as somebody said, okay, so we know these things now, we're seeing it, what stops people from doing it? Well, the first question is, do people take it seriously? Are people looking at this research and they finding it credible to the point where it changes? Nutrition, for example. My goodness, what we learn about nutrition is probably changing by the day. And how do you stay up with the right foods? I think if we lock down the science and convince people it's solid, I think there'd be a lot of people who would change their nutritional habits. But that pendulum had just swung back and forth so many times based on different studies that have been done, etc. What's the right exercise? I don't think anybody's arguing exercise anymore. I think aerobic exercise, anaerobic exercise, flexibility exercise. If anybody's still arguing that listens to my Live with Tony's, give me an email. Let's go have a conversation, and let's find out what's stopping you. And even walking, you don't have to be marathon runners or anything. So even just walking, being movements and activity. And so what is it that people need to have to be able to move forward on some of these things? And one of them I always say is you need to scare the heck out of them. People tend to be motivated by if you scare the heck out of them. And very often, as with my dad, right, as he had lung cancer is when he decided he's going to stop smoking. And then he would go around talking to people as he went through his medical treatments and tell people, don't smoke, don't smoke, don't smoke. But unfortunately, he already had his cancer before he got the religion to say, stop smoking. So what is it we got to tell people, and how can we get them to go? I say, you know what, let's take them by the hand and let's do it one step at a time. Let's not try to climb up a 100-foot tree all in one step. Let's take it a step at a time and see if we can bring people along in little steps and little pieces and get them to work on one thing. So when we're working on our elements of brain health, I tell people, let's pick one. Let's go for social. Let's go for mental challenges. Let's go for exercise. Let's go for social. Let's find one element of the six, and let's just work on making that better. It is weekend time. Have a good weekend, and we will see you again here on Monday. Anybody wants to send me an email, it's adottino@aol.com, and I shall see you on Monday of next week, and hope you all have a great weekend as well.